What's up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. If you want daily crypto news, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's dive right into this one. Also, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to all. Let's get right into it. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So I want to go over some older information and then preface to what we know now, knowing that Goldman Sachs, we hear groups like CITI are also getting into crypto custody, or at least requesting for information and showing interest. Guys, if you have watched this channel for a while, you kind of know my outlook on it. Whether you think it's conspiratorial or not, I think it's pretty evident. These are the biggest players in the world. For example, we've even heard Ashish Burla make commentary, again, GM of RippleNet, talk about CITI, HSBC, which is another RippleNet partner, and then JP are the three largest banks that essentially govern 80% of all the cross-border transactions in the world. So anytime you are sending payments to another country, essentially it's going through their network. Now, 80% of all of that transaction flows. You could say they have a vested interest in capturing a lot of the fees in what RippleNet is doing in terms of lowering remittance fees, and letting the little SMEs, small and medium enterprises, level the playing field for the first time in 50 years. Yes, that is an absolute threat. If you think that they're going to go quietly, that is a complete joke, and this is why I have such faith in this technology. It's not just XRP, it is not just distributed ledger technology, but what it's aiming to do in terms of reducing, even eliminating pre-funded accounts around the globe for the SWIFT system, the correspondent banking network. This is revolutionary, and for the first time in history, we have a chance to essentially take part and have a slice of this pie because it is open source. All right, so we've already mentioned, again, just to repeat, CITI, HSBC, JP essentially all, or 80% of all cross-border payments go through their network. Now we can see, even, I know I say 40 years ago, pre-internet, pre-digital era, when this network was built, well, it's time to essentially update it all. And now recently, you hear in interviews for Brad Garlinghouse on CNN saying 50 years, and I mean, even here we say 50 years. So the traditional correspondent banking network was built 40 to 50 years ago, give or take. It's time for an update, guys. There's a lot of things that have happened, and it is a complete joke to me. So we're going to go over a few things here, and I want to open your eyes. And I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but if you are new to XRP, please pay attention. This is not just, some Bitcoin channel talking about, anarchy and replacing the system. And yes, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that. But as an investor, I'm here for return on my investment. XRP is the black sheep of crypto for good reason, and it's been around for 8 years, going strong, 60 million ledgers plus closed without error. This is something that is truly being set up to be adopted by banks at a global scale. There's not going to be some competitor that comes out and in 1 or 2 years it's going to be all good to go. We've gone through the issues, and again, XRP checks all the boxes. There's some competitors that check, 3 out of the 10 boxes, or 6 out of the 10 boxes. But again, it is just a no-brainer. So before getting into this document, this is put out by Bain & Company, some very interesting infographics and stats I want to go over. Let's start off with some recent news. So Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple right here, and keep in mind, I'm not political, just sharing the message. Congrats to Gary Gensler. We're ready to work with the SEC leadership in the broader Biden administration to chart a path forward for blockchain and crypto innovation in the United States. So this was an article that was just put out, I believe, by Bloomberg. And again, painting a picture, we do know that Gary Gensler was a professor at MIT. MIT does run a validator on the XRP ledger. Gary Gensler said he doesn't own this stuff. He is very familiar with the product line of RippleNet's XRP specific use case. He's called it a bridge currency, but then also in those videos in 2018, he called Ethereum and XRP uncompliant securities. So keep that in mind. Yes, so much has changed since 2018, so I'm not sweating it, but the typical newcomers might be freaking out at that type of commentary. All the world is a stage. All right, now to read some of this good stuff. So at JPM, CITI, and HSBC. Before we talk about this, remember, I say Goldman Sachs has their hand in everybody's cookie jar. If you're not aware of that, please be aware of that. The majority of even RippleNet customers, these financial institutions, are essentially backed by them. Some of the biggest banks, some of the biggest money service businesses. This is just a game, all right? And you understand the people behind the scenes, not even to be conspiratorial, but the wealthiest people in the world, they do not necessarily own assets. They own shadow companies, and their companies own the assets. So on paper, they don't own that mansion. They don't own that, those cars, that helicopter. It's all owned by the company. So please be aware of that as well, all right? So, also with this other news, we know Goldman Sachs is showing interest to enter the crypto market soon with custody play source. So we have Goldman, JP Morgan, and Citi. Interesting. So JP Morgan and Citi, we already mentioned, and then HSBC is already RippleNet, and they were putting out that commentary that they're not letting their users in the United Kingdom, what was it, buy crypto anymore? What is happening? Is this just some type of manipulation so the rich get richer, they, get in the bottom of the market, control it, and then sell it to everyday people at a premium? Time and time again, you've heard Jamie Dimon's commentary. I think we'd kind of get it at this point. Even George Soros, just understand they don't care about us. We're not in their best interest whatsoever. All the world's a stage, and this is just a game of 5-dimensional chess. So, a few facts right here. Global banks such as Citigroup, HSBC, JP Morgan have focused on this business for years, and now other banks are trying to add more sources of recurring fee income as they struggle to increase their return on capital. Interesting. So all about transaction banking right here, okay? Local and regional banks in emerging markets are also pursuing growth in transaction banking as they face compressing profit margin and higher capital requirements in traditional corporate lending. Well, what RippleNet's aiming to do is release the trillions of dollars that are trapped in pre-funded accounts as just-in-case money. They're holding pre-funded accounts in different currencies at different banks in different countries. They are getting hit with inflation. They're getting hit with opportunity cost. They're getting hit with so much. So please understand, when you can release trillions, I'm talking, 10 plus trillion for the global economy, Jevons paradox takes place in economics, and it will release an absolute flood. It's not just going to be XRP, but XRP is one of my biggest holdings because I'm not fooled by this nonsense. All right. If the SEC was going to come after them, they had 8 years to do so. I think that they're more concerned with maybe the executives' holdings and maybe some early on sales, things like that. EOS and other crypto, they got slapped on the wrist. They paid a lot in fines, and they're still here. That is how I see it. XRP is global. Whatever happens to fines that Ripple or other, organizations and allegations or, things that may come of it, I'm not worried for XRP, the digital asset. We already have many countries. We're talking probably well over a dozen, UK, Japan, already saying XRP is not a security, whether it's a commodity, utility token, payment token, things of this nature. So please don't be fooled by the mainstream news if you are in the United States. Do your own research, decide for yourselves, but I will be holding and I will be accumulating XRP. It is no different than when I first found it at half a cent in early 2017. I'm not going anywhere. This in my mind is hero or zero. All right. So transaction banking, reducing fees, competition, pressing profit margins, higher capital requirements, etc. Very interesting. So we're going to keep going. And remember, HSBC, JPM, and Citi, they don't want these mom and pop shops to have this type of new technology and be able to go right into the cloud, have the same applications, and leverage other networks in a decentralized manner. That threatens their bottom line massively. Now, who are the biggest shareholders of these groups? You tell me, guys. Very, very wealthy people, whether it's Wall Street or some big family names that you guys know. Just keep that in mind. They're not going down without a fight. All right, right here. Bain & Company estimates that distributed ledger tech, if adopted in the right way by participants in the trade ecosystem, has the potential to reduce trade finance operating costs by 50 to 80%. Do you know how big that is in terms of operating cost reduction in the world of banking? That's insane, guys. Absolutely insane. And to realize 3 to 4-fold improvements in turnaround times. So not only in reduction of operation costs, but speed. This is insane, guys. This is the opportunity, and this is why this is happening. DLT is easily since, even 2015. We know that, Obama administration had a DLT group, even arguably before Bitcoin. Like, you just have to pay attention to these trends. And we know Ryan Fugger in 2004 with Ripple and all of that, arguably 5 years, a good 5 years, before Bitcoin was even a thought. So things that make you go, was this all planned? I'm not saying it is or not. I'm just saying I entertain the idea at least. All right. Depending on the trade finance platform involved, we have already seen prices decline in the SWIFT International Payment Network. Interesting. All right. And SWIFT GPI literally just copied a Ripple's Xcurrent software, which does not involve XRP. It's just messaging. XRP is the secret sauce, of course, with formerly XRapid, ODL, which is actually the thing that allows settlements, not just messaging in a bidirectional manner. All right. Now, right here, competitors, almost said competition, pour in. The widespread optimism may not be warranted, however, for one thing. Banks are chasing the same, albeit growing market. Even small and regional banks find it easy to expand into this business because they can buy off-the-shelf solutions from third-party vendors. Whoa, you mean like RippleNet as well, which allows now letter of credit LOC for them to actually, SMEs, small medium enterprises, to buy XRP, specifically XRP, on credit, leverage it to scale further, which we've already seen testimonials about. Yes, and now guess what? They use another example, Finastra, RippleNet enabled. Go figure. So some of which have started to offer solutions as a service, as Finastra does in payments. If you watched, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 videos ago, go check it out. Finastra is RippleNet, plugged in. We talked about them regarding, the UAE and many other regions. They have 9,000 clients. They're plugged into RippleNet via single API. So the option is there. I'm not saying the liquidity is there yet and the regulation is there yet, but I'm showing you the interoperability is there for 9,000. So everybody says, oh, Ripple only has 300 to 400 customers. Well, you guys don't understand network effects because you have to understand Finastra has 9,000 clients right there. Swift, who they're aiming to replace, has about 11,000. So it's almost there, already more than 80% right there, give or take, plus their other customers as well. And then of the top 50 banks in the world, Finastra is partnered with the top 48. So things that I consider, and I see all the FUD, and I understand how quickly this could turn around. We saw XRP go from half a cent to $3.84 in a very quick manner, and that was before Ripple was even using XRP. So I don't really understand how Gary Gensler, any new SEC chairman, could say XRP is a security, because XRP did that speculatively, whether it was wash trading or market dynamics. That's just additional proof that it's not satisfying the Howey test, and the Howey test is decades old, so there's going to be new tests as well. That's kind of a silly argument, and XRP doesn't even fulfill that as well, so it's not a security, in my opinion. We'll see what kind of games of FUD are played. Keep in mind, there's going to be tons of fear. They want us out of this asset. It is not for us retailers. XRP is a wholesale interbank settlement use case, per the World Economic Forum when they were there, the 1% of the 1% where they meet, discussing monetary policy, climate change, all of that. All the world is a stage. So decide for yourselves, guys, but I am not exiting XRP unless I saw something truly factual that guaranteed its demise and it was not going to be rolled out. And I would be honest with you guys, because I honestly, I'm sharing my honest opinions here, guys. This whole thing has got me going crazy. Just the commentary of people saying XRP is dead. It's a sinking ship. Get out. I saw the same thing, in 2018 when we were coming back from $3 and going back to 50 cents. I saw it in March 2020 when XRP was 11 cents. Everybody gave up. They said scam. And then when XRP's back to 60 cents, 50 cents, they're all, they jump back on the ship and they act like it's all good. And those are the fools, because they only believe in an asset when the price is up, whereas I and you guys are believing in an asset when 99% of other people are not. Just something, part of my rant. All right, so right here, in cash payments, and this is the last thing, and then we'll get back to the news. In cash payments and collections, companies such as Ripple, Boom, as well as different groups of banks are moving to distributed ledger and other new technology solutions, which should reduce costs, labor, and processing time. Three benefits right there. For example, a coalition of 6 Japanese and Korean banks is testing the transfer of real-time cross-border funds between the two countries over the Ripple network. So we already know Japan, we know Korea, potentially looking at on-demand liquidity corridors right there. You can look at the Thai baht. There's just essentially Southeast Asia is a gold mine. Singapore, where Ripple's office is as well, Japan's office. It's just all right in front of us, and I think everybody is, too focused on the price and these allegations. And remember, sleight of hand tricks are very common in this world of investing. It didn't just start this, decade or with the internet. The biggest companies own a huge portion of the media outlets. So it's before Twitter, in the 70s and 80s when they show things on the news or put things in the newspaper. They're feeding you what they want to give you. So just keep that in mind. If you don't even entertain that concept, you're the wrong way down the rabbit hole. All right, so this platform aims to allow corporate users to see all fees upfront, pre-validate transactions, beautiful. So again, knowing exactly what the fee and what it's going to cost in the ETA right there, seeing the cheapest option, or maybe looking for the fastest option, or maybe just the most efficient, path. It depends, because each SME or each group's going to have their own preferences. So that's awesome. Thereby settling them faster. Looking a few years out, some central banks such as Singapore's are testing digital fiat currency through distributed ledger technology. And it's funny to see how far we've come. And of course, now we can talk about the Monetary Authority of Singapore and all these groups and the UAE. What was it? And then Sama already saying, Ripple, you guys are good to go. You don't even need the test in our sandbox. You can go right with our banks right away. Your compliance. That is the stuff I'm looking at. And when you have to understand, when 80 to 90% of all RippleNet customers and all 80 to 90% of the payment transactions and volume is outside of the US, I'm not super worried. All right. Right here. So Michelle Bond, she was formerly, as we know, at Ripple. And then she left to become CEO of Atom for the, obviously the DLT, the crypto asset organization. And now she goes on to say here, and we know her background as well. I believe she was also an advisor at the SEC. Small world. Right here, it's just the beginning. A tectonic shift took place in the world of crypto custody this week as Anchorage became a national digital asset banking qualified custodian. First off, guys, just speak out loud here. Why would you give up on crypto assets when you have the biggest names in the game like Goldman Sachs already saying and expressing interest to enter the crypto market now? All the world's a stage. I'm not leaving before the real money can flood in at scale. I'm not an idiot. Yes, I know institutional money's been in this game for years, but this will allow even more of it to come in with actual certainty and regulatory clarity, the rules of the road, right? So right here, it's enter the crypto market, and then Future Boy right here, and they deleted XRP from their services, another company that indirectly supports the SEC Clayton fraud against XRP retail investors. Interesting. So essentially this was just an RFI, and we'll keep an eye. This is just a request for information. Nonetheless, good headline for everybody to share, but this is still factual. So Goldman Sachs is essentially looking to enter the market soon. I think it's kind of funny to say that and just put this out because they're already backing so many companies that are already involved in custody, but I don't know. You guys tell me. Now, Future Boy sharing this, I want to paint a picture here. And pay attention. This is not conspiratorial. I'm going to go over the facts. I want to read a quote with this as well, from this quote by Rothschild. I care not who controls a nation's political affairs so long as I control her currency. All the world's a stage, in my opinion. And, not to get political, but I think anybody can be a puppet if you pull the right strings. Another good show to really watch is Mr. Robot as well on Prime Video. Right here, Rothschild's advised Earthport on the deal, while Goldman Sachs advised Visa. Earthport is a massive, arguably one of the biggest RippleNet customers from years ago, a hub and spoke model. You control, these types of on-ramps, it's game time for like a multi-currency approach. So this is why I think that Ripple, the company, and RippleNet, essentially the protocol, and then XRP being one of the most deadly parts, most valuable parts of the software, is game changing. And I think that we're simply waiting for some just elaborate rollout, so to say. And when all this works out, please do not call us lucky and, say, oh, wow, it all worked out. Thank God the SEC did a favorable ruling or XRP exploded because of this. No, they're going to give you the narrative, but we were here all along and we were aware of it. We just don't know how exactly it's going to play out, right? So Visa, remember, they're going up against MasterCard as well, another giant, to essentially bid for RippleNet's partner, Earthport. So Visa ended up winning the bid, and we remember the history. You guys can read all of this as well, Ledger Insights, whatever you want, and just kind of sharing that. And then Future Boy, which crypto is in the red the most? Absolutely. All right. So things to pay attention to as well. Earthport, which counts Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, and Japan Post Bank among its clients, said Visa's offer was a revised proposal that followed an indicative offer from the U.S. company last month. Rothschilds advised Earthport on the deal, while Goldman Sachs advised Visa. Big names are involved. And I've seen comments like people go, oh no, if Goldman Sachs is behind any of these organizations or groups or who's who, I don't want, any involvement. Okay, that's fine. I'm just sharing some information, guys. I'm here for a return on my investment, and I'm going to try to give back and make the world a better place, even right now. All right here. So we talk about all these groups getting involved in custody. It's because they smell the money. PayPal right here to earn $2 billion in revenue from its Bitcoin business alone, says an analyst. So we can see $2 billion in revenue from its Bitcoin business by 2023. This year, he expects that the payments giant overall's revenue will climb 20%. That is significant when you are companies worth, valued well over billions of dollars. So yes, Goldman Sachs smells the money. They already have. They've been here. So please don't read these articles and think that Goldman Sachs is finally getting involved and JP Morgan's finally getting involved. They've been involved heavily. I think this is just, a little narrative that we're just going to follow. And then people are going to regurgitate it and act like, that's what happened. But really, they've been here all along. And they knew crypto assets. And we know what people like Jay Biancomano of State Street, with the digital asset division, has said. Those institutions are going to come in, and it's going to trickle, then flood, and the gates will open. And that is what's happening. Digital assets are going to free this capital, and XRP, in my opinion, will be a huge part of this. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just want to say that. Please do your own research. Decide for yourselves, guys, and I encourage you to keep looking. So, make educated decisions, understand the risk and reward, and most importantly, have patience. This is just a very interesting world right now in terms of the digital Cold War between countries. I know Crypto Whale was resharing as well that we know China's economy was one of the only countries that grew like 2% plus in the year 2020. One of the only major economies to grow. One of the BRICS nations. They're also rolling out that DCEP, digital currency electronic payment, as well. So many things to pay attention to, guys. Understand, domestic, last mile settlement, cross-border payments. This is the absolute future. And I'm simply waiting for a price to reflect that, but I'm waiting for utility in the floodgates to absolutely open. And in my opinion, the longer that we are here at these low prices, the more I begin to believe that there may just be a sudden rush, like a sudden explosion, rather than just getting, 5% returns each day and compounding it exponentially. The longer we stay at these low prices, as I know the rollout and these roadmaps for these companies and banks, the more I start to entertain some massive price shots. And that's not to hype it up, it's just my honest opinion with all of this. All right, right here, Anders L, guys, definite follow if you are on Twitter and you are interested in XRP, QNT, any other digital assets. Very smart guy. Institutions using blockchains and crypto at scale does not mean a few hedge funds holding a couple $1 billion in Bitcoin. Absolutely. It means JP Morgan, CITI, and just HSBC, like I've been talking about in this video, using it at scale in their operations. It's not to help us and improve the value of crypto assets. It's because I already showed you transaction banking, competitors, reducing labor, rollout time, things of this nature. It means a mature market of 50 trillion is market capitalization, not 1 trillion. We're at 1 trillion today. We haven't seen anything. We're not doing anything at scale. XRP is one of the very few assets in live production solving problems for real customers. Yes, guys, I hold other assets. I love HBAR, 88, there's probably like a good 20 or 30 assets I hold, but I'm just being honest. And yes, I know XRP's price suppression, it all sucks. But I'm letting you know right now, XRP gets the most hate in this ecosystem. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, most people are going to actually thank XRP and the company Ripple and all these other initiatives, Coil, lobbying and offices in DC for what they've done for the entire crypto space. If you're rooting against XRP to get hit, I would be terrified for every other altcoin I hold. So if XRP succeeds, I'm going to be so happy. I obviously believe it will because it's already succeeded in every other country and they don't care what the US does, and it's up to the United States. And I'm rooting for the US. I'm from the US, but it's up to the US to say, yes, we're going to be taking place in this innovation just like we were in the .com bubble. We were ahead of the game. We were ahead of other countries because we had clear regulatory frameworks. People were making tons of money. There was tons of innovation in America, in the United States, I should say. And the same thing, now it's almost the opposite. So I often talk about, shares of a company, stocks, the whole model of investing. Well, DLT is going to flip that model on its head entirely. I know you guys understand what I mean by that. All right. Now we're going to finish up with this. So this was on that CNN interview of Brad Garlinghouse and Julia Chatterley. Now this is shared by Crypto Invest. Thank you for sharing this clip. I actually watched these 20-minute interviews the other day on Bank XRP's channel. I think it's 27 minutes per my photographic memory. Watch me be wrong. I watched it Friday night just to rewatch. But asking about if Flare Networks will ever plug into RippleNet. My honest opinion, absolutely. There's at least talks of that functionality. Why? Because Flare is one of the biggest things for the XRP ledger that Ripple's not even working on. It's another company. Yes, Ripple did fund them a portion, but they're distributing this ecosystem, just like Coil is working on streaming of payments and web monetization. So listen to Brad, he can't really answer it. He doesn't say no. So I absolutely think now that XRP with Flare, and they're going to be launching in the next 2 quarters this year, it's very exciting in terms of Ethereum for smart contracts, Avalanche consensus. And if you saw AVAX, AVAX, guys, it went from like $3 to $12 plus already, this crypto asset. Very exciting. All right, so listen to this.
So, and are there any plans to plug RippleNet into Flare functionality? You can see where I'm leading here. These are all leading questions.
Yeah, nothing I'm ready to announce today.
Oh, but that's also not a no. I'm just thinking, so, and are there any...
So I absolutely think there are plans for integrations. I think it's just about future-proofing, just like every organization, you know, every crypto, every ecosystem, and just, you know, hedging yourself. So, you know, whether you have a conspiracy that it's going to be a central part of it and it'll take over the world, very possible, or just essentially future-proofing and making the XRP ledger that much more robust and adaptable to the market conditions, that it can now essentially replace Ethereum. I hold Ethereum. There's, you know, thousands of projects that are ERC20 tokens built on its blockchain. I think it still will be successful, but I cannot turn a blind eye to XRP and think that it does not have a real chance in being a behemoth in this space. When the utility market comes, then assets derive their value much more from utility, not 90%, you know, speculation. Is going to be a very different landscape, and I believe that us XRP holders are going to reap the rewards, and it will be very interesting to watch the, you know, the sentiment change and evolve. All right. And then also, guys, thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers or 5,000 followers on Instagram. So I did do the 500 XRP giveaway. I'll play this video. Apologies if it's blurry. I recorded it on my phone and then sent it to edit. And I'm an idiot because I was using Trust Wallet, and I literally double tap the send button. So instead of sending, you know, 500 or 501 XRP, I double tap the send with my thumb. I don't know if I just flinched, and I sent the guy 1,000 XRP total. So I appreciate that he sent it back. I know some people would not. So I'll just show you this. And again, this is what's really good. And I follow, you know, I had his Instagram tag. I showed it on the story as well. Proof. I don't know the guy was randomly selected, so congratulations. And I did blur out his address and destination tag to his wallet, just out of respect. You know, if he wants to share it, that's fine. But let me just play the video. So this is just Trust Wallet, a little mobile application. Don't worry, hackers, I barely hold any money on this. This is just for like giveaways and things like that and tips. So, whoops, go right here and I'll just show you. So I have XRP here, about 2,000 XRP, typed in XRP, send it to the address for any newcomers, put the address in, blurred out the back, put the amount. I just showed, you know, sent 501 XRP, even though the fee was like absolutely nothing. Put in the destination tag, those numbers, which is essentially just, you know, an address. So say the, you know, the address here is the hotel that it's going to or the exchange that it's going to. And then the destination tag is, you know, like the room number. So it goes specifically to his wallet since he shared an exchange address, right? So an easy way to understand why XRP or XLM needs, you know, a destination tag or a memo tag. So what happened? Confirm the transaction. I look at everything. I look at the fee, 0.005 XRP, essentially free to send the $140 to this gentleman. You guys understand, this took 3 to 5 seconds when I click send. Bitcoin, 7 minutes, 2 hours. I've waited like all day. I've probably waited 12 hours plus for a Bitcoin transaction. And I've had friends that have probably waited 2 days during the bull run. So all I'm saying is Bitcoin can be a store of value. I wish you guys well, but I see a much higher ROI in utility tokens and payment tokens that actually have sound tokenomics now. I think the opportunity for Bitcoin is minuscule. You know, if I want to put money in it, I'm betting that it goes to 100,000 or 80,000. That's really not much bang for my buck. Whereas if XRP just even went to $10, that is absolutely insane. So I'm an investor. I would much rather, you know, gauge the risk and reward and earning potential. All right. So now when I click send, I sent it twice. So instead of 140, I sent 280. And I'll show you guys it pending just to give you a taste of it. And this is just for newcomers if you guys never use Trust Wallet. And so it's pending right here. And so now it's shown. So accidentally, because I had 2,300, now it went to 13. So I accidentally sent 501 twice. And I was like, oops. And so I let him know right away and he sent it right back. So I appreciate it and sent. So appreciate it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Links are in the video description. And I will probably be doing a video when I have time more on this Tether nonsense because there's a lot of narratives. Nobody knows the future, but we have to stay on top of things. And then also I will be talking about Algorand a bit more since I see a lot more people are paying attention to it, you know, now that it's pumping. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.